Good morning, Fort McMurray. My name is Elliot Pierre. I am your host of the Mac City Morning Show. We're going to start this off the same way we always do, with a little bit of gratitude. I want to thank everybody who's taken the time to tune in to watch us, may it be live and or if you're watching it afterwards. I know you could be doing a lot of other things with your time, so the fact that you're choosing to spend it with us truly does mean the world to me. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's she cotton, me loves? You're listening to the Mac City Morning Show.
All right, we got a banger today. Today's going to be a good episode. I know it. I can feel it. We got a very interesting individual from Fort McMurray. I'm going to let him introduce himself, but first and foremost, I know him as Mr. Rory. So, Mr. Rory, please introduce yourself to the people at home. Tell them who you are and what you're about.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, Elliot and Tanner. I appreciate you guys having me on the show today. My name is Rory O'Hearn, and I'm a teacher here in Fort McMurray, and I've been here for, I guess, about 7 years now. So
Okay,
that's
cool.
the gist of it.
There we go. So, Mr. Rory, the reason I call you Mr. Rory is that's how I've been introduced to you. And so it's one of those things, if people introduce me to them with a nickname or something, I'm like, I'm going to remember that.
Right.
So you were introduced to me as Mr. Rory.
Yeah.
So why Mr. Rory? Well, how did that all start?
Well, I've had different names over the years.
Yeah.
So, being a teacher, I've been called teacher in the past. So I used to teach ESL to adults.
Okay.
And so I was always teacher.
Right, right.
And then I actually taught overseas for a little bit. So in Korea, they called me Mr. Rory, but in Korea there's no R pronunciation. So they call me Mr. Lully.
Okay, okay.
And now with my kids, I'm Mr. Rory, but with the younger ones, a lot of them say Mr. Wowie.
Okay. I love it.
So I have a
Okay.
few different names like that.
So Mr. Rory, yeah, I'm bad at it in regards to we see each other in public and you've done a few gigs and I'm like, hey, Mr. Rory, and people look at me like, what the heck is this guy talking
That's
about?
just how people know me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what I want to talk to you about, and we'll get this kicked off, is with music, because you are a music teacher. You're passionate about it.
Yeah.
You wrote a banger of a song that is a jingle that my kid sings in the shower. I hum it all the time. What is the name of that song?
Oh, thank you. Thickwood Barbershop. And shout out to Ali and the guys for putting me on for that one.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So where did that come from? Like, honestly, like Ali's telling me about one day, I got this guy, he's going to write me a jingle. I'm like, who is he? And then he described him. I'm like, oh, I know that guy. That's Mr. Rory. He's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I think it's a great idea. I can't wait to hear it. And literally, I heard it. He like sent me the audio clip. I'm like, Ali, this is magic. Like, and I'm not
That's
like,
cool.
I'm not joking. Like from the second I heard it, I'm like, this is it.
Oh, thank you. Wow.
So what was your inspiration for that? Where do you come up with the lyrics? Like I'm not a creative person in regards to music.
Yeah.
So it fascinates me when somebody can throw something like that down.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Well, I went in to get a haircut, and the first time I ever went in there, I actually just looked it up on the reviews and saw it was local because I live in Thickwood and went to check it out. First day I went in there, I think Ali was the first guy I met, gave me a haircut. He was really nice. And then started following him on Instagram, and then he said to me, oh, I didn't know you were a singer. And I was like, yeah, because, I put some of my music on Instagram. So he goes, oh, well, can you write me a jingle? And I was like, yeah, sure. So anyways, I came up with a couple ideas and sent them to him, and he really liked this one. So I guess my inspiration, one of my favorite singers is Bruno Mars. So I kind of had this barbershop kind of uptown funk sort of vibe in mind.
Right,
So
right.
I wrote it with that in mind and sent him some like just a 30-second sample, and he's like, "Oh, that's great. I love it." So
Yeah, and then
ended up recording
it's
it.
the best. Thickwood Barbershop. Going to Thickwood Barbershop. Oh, man, it is fire. It really is.
Thank you.
So yeah, so let's stay on this topic and talk a little bit about music here. So I know you're a lover all type of music.
Yeah.
What do you gravitate to more often than not?
It's been such a variety over the years, but if I want to be in a good mood, I'll listen to reggae, some Bob Marley or something,
Okay.
If I want to just chill out, I'll listen to some newer stuff, but a whole variety. Like I've gone through the whole eras of hip hop, and 90s rock was huge when I was younger, and going back and classic rock, listening to the Beatles and that whole era, Jimi Hendrix and all this. I think the best music there ever was in the 60s.
Okay.
60s, 70s. I just think that was like when music had such a meaning. Like it was, songs were very important. Like they had a strong social message. And nowadays everything's so commercialized.
Right.
So, I still love music of today. Like there's so many artists I like, but I think that was the sweet spot. That was
Yeah.
the era.
I'm just getting into classic vinyl in the 60s, and I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Growing up, like my family from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Like I listened to a lot of reggae and soca and R&B. And then like I gravitated to rap
Yeah.
and hip hop. And so for so many years, that's the lane I stayed in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then two things happened. I had a child and I got a convertible.
Okay.
Not at the same time.
Yeah.
But my little man Keegan, he just loves music, and he digests the lyrics. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously I can't be listening to like gangster rap anymore. So we got to get rid of that.
Album.
That's right. So then, so I get rid of gangster rap, and I'm like, okay, we'll listen to top 40 music. But then he start listening, he starts saying the lyrics of top 40, and you're like, oh no.
Yes.
So
there's a lot of stuff to be wary of especially around kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember I'm not even going to say the song because the song's a banger. The song's a banger. And we're listening to top 40, and he's like, starts like singing it. I'm like, And then I was like, okay, this is an appropriate change. And he's like, why are they playing inappropriate music at 8 o'clock in the morning, Dad? I'm like, I don't know, but you ain't listening to it.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna guess it's Cardi B, or something in that.
Yeah, it's not Cardi B, but it's definitely within that genre. Or that's it.
Yeah.
So and Nate, if you're an adult, it's a banger. Listen to it. I'm a sucker for a good hook and a beat.
That's right. Yeah.
So, anyways,
time and place.
That's
really.
right.
Yeah.
So I started looking for something else, and I started and I got to be honest with you, I had heard of the Beatles.
Yeah.
Obviously. And a song here and there, you're like, oh yeah, Yellow Submarine, I know that's the Beatles.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, I start listening to you got Yesterday. This is so embarrassing. I'm going to get murdered about this. I thought the song Yesterday was written by Boyz II Men.
Because they did a great version of it.
They did a great version, but I didn't know
did.
the Beatles wrote it. So
yeah.
I've always listened to Jimi Hendrix and like Led Zeppelin and stuff, rock and roll, but like all of a sudden the 60s, there's so many good bands out of that era.
Yeah,
it's
so
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could go on and on about but I think you're exactly right in regards to talk about being creative and singing a song with a message, but also just being catchy.
Yeah. And also I think it mirrored civil rights, and it mirrored like the times, which was like the Vietnam War and stuff. So there was a lot going on politically that music was kind of, it was a driving force. You know? So. Yeah.
So and as far as the convertible is concerned, I'm driving around. The top's obviously down, and I don't want to be pumping. I don't want to offend anybody. So I was like, okay, what kind of music can I listen to that's not going to offend? And so now when I drive my Ruby Red MG around, it's only like 60s music, like
cool.
what we just went through. So
there was no swearing back then.
No.
A lot of explicit content, but it was still great and creative, and
that's exactly
it's
it.
like movies, right? Like our movies used to be like they'd say one swear word, but now it's like so
anything goes. Anything goes.
I would just like to point out that music is just as explicit. They just do it subliminally.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is true.
Without saying it like
That's
directly.
Right.
You listen to some of those Beatles songs, and you got to think that those are a little explicit.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there was a time and era. There was the era of experimenting.
Oh yeah.
With meditation and psychedelics, and it's kind of, when you think about it in regards to the music that was generated before, it's pretty like whatever standard,
cut and dry,
and then all of a sudden,
old fashioned,
boom. But everything from that era, I find, from like the clothes to the cars to the music, even sports, for example. I'm a big lover of surfing. I grew up in Fort McMurray. I don't get to surf here.
Yeah.
But when I do, I'll get on a board. I'm horrible. But when you think of a lot of like the sports that we look at today that are huge, skateboarding, surfing, basketball,
Yeah.
like all of these leagues were started
Hmm.
then. It's something about that era that like the creativity just exploded.
Yeah, it was like a consciousness expansion for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to music, let's stick on this topic because that's why I'm excited to have you here. Let's talk about rap music for a second.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm a big lover of rap. Love it. I love new age rap. I love old school rap. I just, it's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
Although my parents hate it. They used to throw out all the CDs, but that was my rebellion as a
I had
child.
a few of those happen too.
Yeah. So let's talk about your rappers. I want to hear, and I don't want to go top 5 because
Okay.
people get confused. Do you think you could do top 5?
Yeah. Totally.
Oh, all right, let's do
Yeah,
top 5.
I got a top 5.
I want to hear your top 5 favorite rappers
Yeah.
and your 6th man award.
Okay.
Okay, let's
right.
go.
All right. Well, top 5. Number 1 for me has always been Tupac.
Okay.
And he's actually my biggest inspiration as a songwriter, just as a poet. Tupac, Biggie, and Nas
Okay.
from that era. And then I would go with Eminem. And probably since there's 6, okay, that handles the dilemma because I was going to go with either Drake, like I like Drake from today.
Oh, putting a new school rapper in there.
I would throw him in there. Yeah, because his influence is massive, and because I got to rep the Canadian,
There you go.
you know.
That's why you got
rappers.
the 6th man award there.
Yep. And the 6th man then would go to probably an old school rapper like Rakim, like one of the
Oh,
foundational rappers.
nice.
Yeah, and who
nice.
I actually saw perform live once, and it was crazy.
You saw Rakim perform.
Dundas Square in Toronto. Yeah, it was
Wow.
amazing. It was a free concert, and it was like wow, like a
Yeah.
legend. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, we can talk about this, and like, I can guarantee you that most of your students, even in like high school, have no idea who Rakim is.
No, even Tupac.
Yeah.
Or Biggie.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's why they would never know an 80s rapper.
Right.
Like,
right.
the fact that some of these like young children, when they have no idea,
Yeah.
is absurd to me. It makes me feel
Right.
like super old. But when you say like the legends, the Mount Rushmore of rappers,
Mm-hmm.
they have no idea.
Right.
Just
That's why, I try to teach them, because we do a Black History Month unit this month. So I try to teach them the foundations of hip hop,
yeah,
and DJ Kool Herc and some of those original,
yeah.
those were the pioneers. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have a book. Keegan has like a rap book,
Oh, cool.
and it's like I forget who wrote it, a rapper, but it's like a really nice children's book, and
Yeah.
it talks about like how it started and all, and you read it with like a bit of a beat, and
That's awesome.
he's just like,
yeah.
okay, this is it.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
you got a good list. You got a good list of your top 5 with the 6th man award.
Thanks. Yeah.
I
and
like
it's all,
that.
Art is subjective, but I'm interested to hear your top 5.
Well, here's the thing about my top 5. It's constantly changing.
Yeah.
It depends on like, so when you're watching this at home, like, don't hold me to the top 5 because it is going, like, somebody could ask me this literally in a month and I would change it.
Yeah.
So for sure, mine, and it's no particular order, except for this guy. He is number 1 as far as I'm concerned, is Snoop Dogg. I love Snoop Doggy
Legend.
Dogg.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get enough of him. That album, Doggy Style, was just like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I remember when What's My Name was on the radio. That
Oh.
was like a smash hit.
Man, everything
crazy.
from his lyrics to the beats by Dre to the
Yeah.
look,
Yeah.
just like Snoop,
Mhm.
done, finished, and he's
Yeah.
still,
He's been a cornerstone
and he's
for
still
the
doing it.
last, 30 years?
Yeah, man, drop it like
90
it's hot.
Since 90 something or
92,
yeah.
I think Doggy Style dropped in 92.
It's crazy.
Nuts. So
Yeah,
he,
for that longevity, that's
yeah,
that's
nuts.
insane.
He's huge. The next one for me, which I think people kind of sleep on this guy, because he was part of a group,
Yeah.
the legendary Wu-Tang Clan,
Oh, yeah.
but Method Man.
Oh, yeah. Method, man.
Yeah, like Method Man
Legend.
is a great rapper, and he was great when he showed up on other people's albums.
Mm-hmm.
One of the only rappers, and we should fact check this, but I think one of the only rappers to actually rap with Biggie and Tupac
Yeah.
when they were alive. I know, like, there's been some albums where, yeah, you could say, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think during the time, he was the only one who showed up on,
He was
On
huge.
both.
He was my brother's favorite.
yeah.
He used to always play To Cal, the
Yeah.
album.
Yep.
Oh, so good.
So Method Man is definitely there. I'm a big Biggie and Tupac fan. I think you can't really have a list without those two. They,
Yeah.
especially based on when we grew up, our age demographic, that was it.
Hmm.
Not to take anything away because they weren't the starters from like,
Yeah.
I love Boogie Down Production, I love BDP, you know, and I like Rakim, like you said, and Slick
Yeah.
Rick.
Uh-huh.
I know they were like the real pioneers, but for
Mhm.
me, based on the age
Yeah,
demographic,
and Run DMC and all
Run
that. Yeah.
DMC, like,
Yeah, because we're 80s kids, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. So we came up in the 90s, right?
Hmm.
There's
Um,
another song called "Let's Get It On" that featured Biggie and Tupac by Eddie F.
Eddie F. Oh, we're gonna have to listen
Okay.
to that song afterwards.
There's still Tupac's still releasing stuff. It's
Oh, I
crazy.
know, which is
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Which goes with that whole theory. Maybe he's in Cuba somewhere.
Maybe a lot of people say he is.
I wish. But
And then, as of right now, I got to put him in here, and it's people forget about him too. I don't know how people forget about him. He doesn't make a lot of lists,
Mhm.
but Jay-Z,
Yeah, I got to give it up to. I prefer Nas personally.
Right.
With that from that whole era, but Jay-Z's been
Jay-Z,
he's one of the all-time greats.
yeah,
Yeah.
just crazy,
Guaranteed.
crazy. So Jay-Z's a big one
Yeah.
for me. Now, my sixth man award gets me in trouble, and I
Yeah.
never change my sixth man award. And I have a guest coming on in a few days who she is going to bring it up and just embarrass me about it. But my sixth man award goes to Will Smith.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
Will Smith.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
Did you hear the new song by Joyner Lucas about him?
Mm-hmm. I
That's-
did.
That's an amazing.
Yeah.
With him.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did it with
and-
him.
So
yeah.
Will
Will
Smith.
Smith is. he's a
Summertime.
legend.
Parents
I'll give
don't
it up to Will Smith.
understand.
Yeah.
I'm all that. Getting jiggy with it. Like
Oh
just.
yeah.
The classic Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then like what he's
Legend.
transitioned his life into. Just
Oh yeah.
Will Smith. But
Yeah. And as a human being,
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
way up there. Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody wants to go out there, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate. Actually, don't hate. Get the Red Alert album and listen. It's the one with Summertime on it,
Okay.
and listen to I'm All That. His how he can spit
Yeah.
is phenomenal. So Will Smith,
You remember Parents Just Don't Understand?
I do.
That was great.
I do.
I think we had that old record in my
That's
basement.
right. And when he fought Mike Tyson, like yeah, no, Will Smith. So
That's awesome.
yeah, man. So those are my top 5 with the sixth man award going to Will Smith.
That's amazing.
So, on that note, though, we're going to put you a little bit on the hot seat here.
Okay.
We got Tanner with his segment called the Mac City Minute.
Okay.
He's going to ask you 5 questions. Do your best to answer them. And remember, because a lot of people do forget, yes, you're going to look at Tanner. Make sure to answer into the mic.
Into the mic. Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
Cool. Question number 1 for you today. How has working with children changed how you listen to music?
Well, just like you said, I have to filter some of the old content that I was used to growing up. So a good example would be I've done some work with All Nations Church, which I've recently joined, and so they wanted me to do an exercise with the kids, which I did, which is rhythm dribbling. And so I went in and I was like, we're gonna do this song, Uptown Funk. But then they're like, oh wait, we have a different version of it because it's for church. So it was called Uptown Church. I was like, oh great. So it like adaptations of songs works, and Kids Bop is a good one because they'll take some pop songs that are like that and they'll make it, more suitable for kids.
There you go. Nice.
Question number 2 for you. If you could know how to play one instrument, what would that be?
Probably, I would say something, maybe the violin. That seems like a really hard instrument, but if I could learn how to play it, I love listening to it, so that's one of the nicest instruments, I think.
Question number 3. What is one song people won't know you jam out to?
A song they won't know I jam out to. What wouldn't they know? I'm trying to think. Probably, random stuff from like back when I was a kid, like 80s song. Oh, one of the songs that surprised me that my kids knew and they were surprised that I knew was that Rickroll song. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. It's legendary, but that's like the
Just rickrolled our whole viewing
the
audience.
Rickroll. That's right. You got it.
That's awesome.
Question number 4. What has teaching around the world with you affected your life?
Oh, how's it affected my life? it's allowed me to step outside of the way I grew up, and I was fortunate and blessed to be able to go to different places. Like I went to teachers college overseas in Australia, and so that opened my world up to being able to explore Asia, and then I ended up later teaching in Korea for a while. So it definitely changed my view. And even, it's weird you don't think about it, but just being away from American television and sports for a year, like I missed the whole NBA season that year, and I think I just saw the Cavaliers winning on YouTube, like winning the championship, and I was like, oh, go LeBron. But like the whole year I didn't watch any sports, and it was all like a whole different culture. So that kind of allowed me to step outside of, I guess, the bubble, So.
And your last question, what is one thing Fort McMurray has that places you've traveled don't?
Oh, I could say a lot more than one thing.
Say as many as you like.
It has such a close-knit community. It has like a lot of big city features, such as international cultures and things, very multicultural. But it has a small town feel, and there's such a connectedness between the private sector and the social profit, and there's just such a when I first moved here, it took a while, but after a year or two, you really start to get to know people, and honestly, I could probably list you like 10 different things about Fort McMurray that you don't experience anywhere else. So.
Well, I guess we'll just have to have you back then.
Again and again.
Those have been your 5 questions.
Good job.
Okay.
Good questions, Tanner. Killing it.
Yeah.
I want to answer one of these questions to shock the world in regards to a song that people wouldn't know that I listened to. Back in the day when I used to throw garage parties, it's been a little bit. I'm getting older now. It'd all be gangster rap, and then every once in a while, Spice Girls would pop up, and guys just like the party would like stop, and they'd be like, "What is this?" And
Party
I'm like,
killer.
"Try to listen to this song without smiling or tapping your foot. You cannot listen to the Spice Girls without a smile on your face. And once you like embrace, like, listen, it's okay to listen to the Spice Girls, and like it's not going to make you any less cool. You're just like, oh yeah, okay, Spice Girls, like they're not bad at all.
Yeah, no, they're huge.
So yeah, I like listening to the Spice Girls from time to time. They make me happy, just like S Club 7 as well. I'll throw S Club 7 in there. So
yeah,
just some light pop every once in a while is pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
there's a time and place for all kinds of music. I try to listen to everything.
There you go. Well, Mr. Rory, we're at the end of the 20 minutes.
Okay.
I want to thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
I want to invite you back again and again.
Cool.
I know you took some time and we had to coordinate stuff, you being a teacher and all. So thank you for coming. You reached out to us like right when this first started. You were an early adopter of the Mac City brand and what we were trying to throw out. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you guys for what you're doing, because you do so much great work around the city, and you promote businesses, and you help so many people in this community. So thank you for what you do.
There we go.
And Tanner, I appreciate you guys doing this for this community.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah. So it's been a good one. I was excited. I even put some old school Air Force One suede shoes on for you today for this episode. I'm really excited. And hopefully, because we talk about shoes a lot, I'm still waiting on somebody out there to send me a pair of those Ben & Jerry Nike Dunks. If you're out there listening and you want to put a smile on my face and watch me wear some Air Force or some Ben & Jerry Dunks, send them this way, please, and thank you.
There you go.
Yeah. So on that note, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in today. Really do appreciate it. Mr. Rory, once again, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
This has been the Mac City Morning Show. My name's Elliot Pierre. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Peace.
Stay where you're to till it comes where you're at. Or tune in again to the Mac City Morning Show.
It's so ballistic!
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.